ArcelorMittal South Africa has approached the courts to interdict the ongoing strike at its coal plant. Workers affiliated to the National Union of Metal Workers South Africa have downed tools over job cuts affecting some of the company's operations in Vanderbijlpark. And the strike action follows the company's decision to retrench over 100 workers. SABC News' economics reporter Phakamile Hlubi-Majola has the story.
A bleak Christmas on the cards for over 100 workers at ArcelorMittal. This after a Section 189 process initiated by the employer to reduce its workforce. Workers' union NUMSA says it has been engaging with the employer since August amid plans to close Shaft 6 and 7 of the company's coke-making battery sections. The union is accusing the employer of approaching the process in bad faith.
ArcelorMittal, in our view, has essentially cancelled Christmas for more than 107 workers and their families by rushing, in our view, rushing the dismissal notices of these workers. The reason we feel we were provoked into strike action is that we felt that the company was really not trying to work with us to try and find alternatives for employment for these workers. We are concerned that the dismissals of these workers through retrenchments will mean that many of them are unlikely to find new work after this.
NUMSA says its alternative proposal to the job cuts was flatly ignored by the employer. The labor union is convinced that the company can afford to keep the dismissed workers.
One is that we said no, the employer must then open what we normally call a VSP, voluntary severance package. Secondly, we said to the employer there are subcontractors that are actually doing for permanent workers. And then we said, no, the employer must then terminate those contractors or insource those work to the permanent employees. There are also vacancies at ArcelorMittal nationally, Newcastle, Vereeniging and Vanderbijlpark. But the employer, during the process, we indicated that to the employer, there are employees who are early retirement. The employees who have been dismissed for misconduct. There are employees who have resigned from the company. So solely they are positioned inside the company. And these 107 workers can also be accommodated in this process.
The workers say the situation has turned desperate, with many worried about the festive season.
We are very aggrieved as workers over the decision of the employer. We are unemployed now because of his retrenchment process. We are striking as a last resort. We want our jobs back. This is a big company operating in Vanderbijlpark, Vereeniging and Newcastle.
According to NUMSA, the retrenchments have had a negative impact on the well-being of some workers, leading to hospitalization in some instances. NUMSA leaders say they are looking at intensifying the strike action in days to come.
Since we started this process, some of our members have been consulting the doctors because they have been going through a trauma. Members are not satisfied and are not comfortable with this process because it's not for the first time. You'd appreciate that last year, around this time, NUMSA, which is ArcelorMittal, issued a notice to the retrenched workers for targeting Vereeniging and Newcastle. And that process we engaged until the employer withdraw that Section 189. As we are trying to recover from that process, then now again, there was a notice again.
ArcelorMittal is a steel manufacturer and says its operations continue as usual. The workers are hopeful that the employer will come back to the negotiating table for alternatives to the dismissals, vowing to continue with their demonstrations or calling for solidarity from their other colleagues. They're also planning to intensify the strike action here if they don't get what they're calling for. I'm Phakamile Hlubi-Majola for SABC News at ArcelorMittal in Vanderbijlpark.